How we doing, gents? We okay?
Very well, you?
Yes, good.
Evening.
Evening. We
Good
got all go.
evening.
Very nice. How are you?
Very nice. You're very nice. Are you all good? Yeah, very nice.
I'm really nice, thanks.
That's like when you ask it's like when you ask a foreigner if they're all right and their English isn't quite there. I'm very nice.
Very nice, very nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
Oh, dear. Yeah, all good, mate, all good.
What's happening?
Still a bit tired from that walk Friday.
From the big walk, from the big Kilimanjaro training.
Yep, still a bit tired, but we managed to get through it. We got through
Are
it.
you up for a lot of us, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just a different type of crack in it, fitness-wise and that.
Yeah.
It's
A bit naughty.
yeah, but it was a tough one.
Have you got all the gear now? The boots?
Nah, still just triggers
Pack
that
for your pack lunch? Or a rucksack for your pack lunch?
I took a foot asylum bag the other day. You know, one of them that you get your trainers in with that like rope thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, though, my pack lunch didn't make it past Sheffield train station. I got train from Doncaster to Sheffield, 15 minutes, and then had my pack lunch at train station. It was laying a bit heavy on my stomach after up that big hill to start with, I'll be honest with you.
As far as travel snacks go, Crossley had one of the best selections I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Homemade Scotch egg, multiple.
A £2 pot growler.
Yeah. Big, massive pot pie.
Homemade?
Cut into your segments, you know, so everybody can have a little slice.
Oh,
I was at that point when I was that tired, you know, when you don't feel hungry because you're that knackered.
His timing was all wrong. He pulled them out within 10 seconds of getting up one of the steepest hills I've ever seen. Anyone for a pork growler?
I said, here's one for you. Obviously, it's a football-related show.
Related, loosely.
Yeah, very loosely. Phil Foden, right? Do you think Pep's doing right by him or not? You know, like just chucking him in now and again and not, you know, proper running the team.
Since it's come back, he's played every game, hasn't he?
He played the last two, but he was sub again tonight.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. But you think he's... Because any other team in the Premier League is playing every week, isn't he? Maybe not Liverpool, but do you think he's doing well by him bedding him in, or do you think it'd be better just throwing him in for a season? And
I think because David Silva's leaving, isn't he, or retiring or whatever. I think he's going to replace him, and I think he's just bedded him in, like you said, to be his replacement.
Do you think he's doing well by him then? Do you think he's doing it the right way, Pep?
Steady.
I'm not questioning Pep. I'm just saying that at any other club, maybe not Liverpool, but any other club in the Premier League is playing every week, isn't it?
Very sensible topic. I'm a little bit taken aback.
Jimmy Walker, part 2. That's why you're being sensible. Because let's be honest, it got a bit silly towards the end, didn't it, John?
I'll put my apologies in now for that, lads. I didn't realise that I was as slurry as what I were in that second half of that.
We're a weekender, wasn't it? A weekend podcast.
Well, it was Friday, wasn't it?
Friday.
Podcasts.
Friday.
Dangerous.
You know, you've got the weekend off. You know what I mean? Man, sure, we've had the last 14 weeks off, haven't we? Oh, we've had the last 14 months off, to be fair.
It's as good as number 1. Believe me. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to listening to it because I can't really fuck all about it.
Do you know what? We were talking before we came on about organising a trip down south to Essex or wherever, but we need to get on for a part 3. We didn't even speak about his coaching days.
No, we didn't even touch the sides of the amount of stories at Tottenham as well. You know, considering he only had one season there, and then he went his whole career, West Ham, Walsall. I know we got a lot of Walsall, and then I know all the big dogs. You want to hear about it, don't you?
Yeah.
County fans aren't happy, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
County fans aren't happy.
Oh, dear me. It's our Twitter feed's gone absolutely ballistic, hasn't it? And
there was a bit of negativity thrown towards us, which, I mean, the wording in the tweet was, what a guy. even though he's been very negative towards Notts County. But it's just like, what a guy, you know, like just his character.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. I'm nothing against Notts County. I don't think.
Nah.
Me neither. In fact, I think I scored my first hat-trick at Notts County, I think.
Chris, there was 6 minutes there when we weren't talking about John.
just popped into my head then.
Back, you know what I mean?
He didn't either. He's just like, oh, no one's going to check, are they? No one's going to check the stats. Scored me first hat-trick at Notts County.
You could have said, I knew Telford.
Yeah.
But he said it, so you know. I don't think he gives a toss. What do you think? But obviously, they're not our views, are they? We love everybody.
Yeah, well, we've got nothing against any team. But if there's no stories from the lads' time at that place, we can't put them in, can we?
Oh, lads, who knows wins are back. The Who Knows Wins League.
Yes,
get
in there. Get in.
Pleased to know.
I've been waiting for this. I've been doing my research unsuccessfully, but I've been doing my research. I think I'm half a chance this time round.
They've been waiting for the football to get going again, and then straight in touch. John is going to be a happy man. We're ready to go with the leagues.
We're ready to go.
I did miss the football when we went into lockdown and stuff, but I missed the crack on the Who Knows Wins. I missed the league crack.
Yeah.
So we're back up and running.
You don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Exactly.
You sometimes take things for granted, and you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we've took for granted for a long time: hairdressers.
Yes.
And now we realise what an important pillars of the community that they really are.
Tell us about it.
Missed out on that one.
But so the league's back Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday?
We're going back full throttle this week. Watching the game live on YouTube, Everton v Leicester, and we've got a nine-team league.
I think it's nine teams league, not 19.
Yeah, 9 teams league.
Yeah, a league of nine. A league of 9.
Premier League, Championship, a couple of Italian, a couple of Spanish. So be a good one that because all the games will be settled while we're doing the live. So we're on at 5:30, ready for the 6 o'clock kickoff. And in that time, the league will start and finish. We'll know who takes the pot.
There's a couple of 6 kickoffs, so we'll be on for half an hour after the Leicester game.
Yeah,
and we'll be there to congratulate whoever's won the dough.
It's a poor man's soccer Saturday, basically.
Yeah, we're a poor man's soccer Saturday. Yeah, but
show Wednesday.
Show Wednesday. That's what we
should. But do you ever hear fucking Jeff telling piss? Eh? No, we never see him piss, do we?
And then we've got another league for the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. 10 teams for that one. So we'll get these pots back up again. If anybody who didn't take part last time, I was going to download the Who Knows Wins app. You pick your winners from the 10 games or the 9 games, depending which league. And everybody chucks a fiver in. Whoever comes top gets 70%, second 20%, third 10%.
Yes.
10% of the pot. So it's better than we're all just chucking in the pot and taking the share of the winnings rather than against the bookies.
It goes every pot is won.
What's been our biggest pot so far?
I think somebody's won about 1,600 quid, didn't they? For winning it.
I think the biggest was it 3,700.
3,700. But I think that might have been split between. I think 6 might have won 650 on that one.
Yeah.
For the 5.
What? It's going to get a bit feisty in the YouTube comments, isn't it?
Oh, no,
there's a couple of faces waiting on a result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not had a bet in ages as well, so my confidence is up now. You know when you forget.
Your confidence is up.
Yeah, you know you forget about you've lost you've not won a few leagues, so
starting afresh.
It's like when you buy a lottery ticket for the first time in ages and you're convinced you're going to win.
Maisha, to be fair, you were probably the best out of us 3 for the last 2 or 3 leagues.
Well, but never always the bridesmaid. Never quite took home the check. I just pick the names. Zip dip do.
Dip do as well, lads. For obviously, I'm getting right into they've organised. There would been a virtual non-league challenge cup in the last few weeks, and I've been on the hunt for votes for a team called Wallington, who my mate is a player and assistant manager for. And they had the smallest following in the cup. I can't remember. They hardly get anybody at the games. They're a small town in Northumberland village. And they somehow made the final. So thanks to everybody that voted.
Not only made the final, mate. Not only made the final. The lads have come on with a cup.
Yeah.
Honestly, they've all got keys to the city in Wallington. Household names they are now, the lads. Keep them at it into team at tournament.
1,500 teams entered this non-league competition. Wallerton just entered it for a bit of fun, and it was a bit of fun.
So was it like just voting, and whoever got the most votes gets through to the next round, and you just get all your supporters to vote, right?
Yeah. Well, in the semi-final, there was a team from Liverpool, and Jamie Carragher jumped on board with them,
right.
And they got thousands of votes in the semi, so we were up against it. And after 10 minutes, there were
76-24, wasn't it? Something like that.
So we were struggling, but then the Undr The Cosh faithful came to the fore.
There we
and
go.
It just went from there. So unbelievable.
Thanks everybody for voted for us Wallington lads. Go on, lad.
You'll be down there now. You'll be.
I went on my shirt and scarf.
Yeah, they sent us this season's kit, a scarf, 3 little badges, and 3 ties. So I think we've all got one, lads.
I bet you can't wait walking that clubhouse.
Well, we have to go up for a watch a game. Take him in after dinner. Put him in after dinner on to him. Tell him to get some tickets sold. Oh, by the way, our pubs are back up and running. If anybody wants to come and do an after dinner, please do get in touch.
You available?
Available for selection. We had plenty cancelled. It was a bit like Take Me Out, when they go boo, 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 boo. So hopefully get them rearranged and get some more in. So if anybody wants an afternoon speaking night, make some money for your club and get plenty of rail support over the bar, just get in touch.
Your book's still out, isn't it, John?
The book's still out, yeah. The book's still out,
Still on sale.
It says on my CV, will travel. So anywhere in the country.
Yeah. Do you want to push any aftershave, Chris, while we're at it?
What?
Do you want to push any aftershave while we're at it?
Nah, that's I'm bankrupt. Move on.
That's ship sailed now. That's ship sailed. That ship's sunk.
Can we get Jimmy on?
Sunken as smell of Ted Ford.
Let's get Jimmy on.
Let's get him in.
Fully embrace the Essex lifestyle, arriving from Mansfield for 10 years.
I'm going to be honest, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I was in Birmingham with Walsall and Nottingham and Mansfield, and there was some great nights out, but Essex was like another level. I always remember the first time I came down, and pre-season I was trying to be really good, so I wanted to get in the team, obviously, and I wanted to crack on, so I was proper focused. It took about 3 weeks of pre-season. And I remember we just signed, Teddy signed, Sheringham signed, and he come in and he ended up sitting next to me in the change room. And an unbelievable guy, what a guy. And his words were, when we got there, that time we had a little bonding session then, innit? I went, well, fucking Teddy's asking me, what can I say? I can't say fucking no, can I? So I thought, and he went, Thursday night, we had no game at the weekends. We'd done his games, and he said, well, just have a Thursday night. And I'm thinking, all right, I can get away with Thursdays, a couple of pints, I'll be sweet, still stay focused. Nothing can be open that much. Oh my God. we went into 195 that I mentioned earlier, and we had a few pints before it. I mean, there was a great set of lads. There was such a good set of lads there. We had a mix of me and Teddy, a bit older, Carl Fletcher in there, Chaddy joined us. You had Anton Fernand, Elliot Ward, so you had the young lads as well. It was brilliant. It was great. And we all got together and it was magic. But went up to 190 and I'm like, normally in Birmingham, I could get away with queuing sometimes, but normally I'd have to fucking queue if it was a big one. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't get the Google out and say, fucking, do you know who I am? Yeah, I couldn't give it that.
There used to be the PFA cards back in the day. Remember them?
PFA. You had the PFA card or Dean Saunders from Villa, you got in. But apart from that, you was fine.
Do you ever have queue in Barnsley? Parky?
Only because there's not many, and I said this in the loosest possible term. There's not many celebrities in Barnsley, so. And when I say celebrities, I mean there's not many people anybody knows, so I didn't have to queue much. But
yeah, I was the same in Mansfield.
The thing is, Barnsley were different back then, right? You know, there's there's so many people, allowed so many people. In Barnsley, you used to be in a queue, kick you in the back, say, fucking get in. We're like sardines, mate. Honestly, like, just fucking get. How many's in? 900, right? There's only 600 can fit in. Fuck it, we'll get 1,050 in. Get them in. Kick them in.
Yeah. Teddy's not a bad wingman, is he?
Oh, Jesus. He was up there, put it that way. He was one of my best. He was very good. Well, we went in and I walked up to 195 and this queue was enormous. On a Thursday night, must have been 200 people in the queue minimum. And I'm thinking, we ain't getting in here. There's 20 odd. We mob handed here. There's about 25 lads. Like the queue's enormous, both sides, the VIP bit and the main one. I'm thinking, bloody hell, it's Thursday night. What's going on here? And as we gone to the front, Teddy, how you doing? And the guy who owned it, Scott, was a massive West Ham fan. So we just had the run of it. It was amazing. And he opened the rope. Looking in you come, 25ers. Looking, took a few friends out the queue as well, new friends. Fancy coming? Anything above a 9? Yeah, you can come. Not your mate. You can.
You got to know how good of friends they were, didn't you? When they said, "No, I'm telling you, my big pal."
Yeah, exactly. None of them did. It was brilliant. I went in. I think I ended up going in there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that week. So my focus shifted. That was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was a great
Teddy had been here then. Teddy must have been 30.
Well, he had his
37.
He had his 40th that season, and I know it because we played that little run we had at the end. I can't give too much away, but I mean we got promoted, so it probably can. But we played. That was the Wigan game. Wigan game on the Saturday was Teddy's 40th. So we had Burnley away on the Tuesday. So we were staying up in Manchester after the Wigan game. So the win was even better. Do you know what I mean? I played, so it was even better. So we ended up staying up there and we went out for Teddy's birthday on the Saturday. And he scored the winner on Turf Moor on the Tuesday after about 48 hours on the piss for his 40th birthday.
So it was obviously low key, wasn't it? Because you weren't meant to be out.
Well, Pars was all right on the Saturday. He said, and we went out, had a meal, and he said, no, do what you like Saturday, it's fine. Have a bond. Just don't get in any trouble. Pars was good like that, to be fair. He knew if he starts having curfews and stuff, people break it, it causes you fucking problems, doesn't it? So you either do or you don't. And this time he said, look, great win. Get yourselves out, have a good night. We'll have a recovery session Sunday. We'll train Monday and we'll go and beat them Tuesday. And that's how it ended up. Although we did have a few more on the Sunday without him knowing.
I mean, we've lost over Bywater.
Yeah,
he came to Cardiff for a 6-week, 2 months, and my big memory of Bywater is we'd be sat on the coach and I was sat next to him, right, and he'd literally just go and for audio, and he'd just literally put his shirt up like that and just. And he'd blow his nose on the inside of his fucking shirt, right? Yeah. And then just pull his shirt back down. What the fuck are you doing? He went, no, I'm going to blow my nose. So he got obviously all this on the inside of his T-shirt going to a game or on a Friday.
I mean, I roomed with Stevie for a year during this time. And what can we say? He's a special man. There's not many like him. Honestly, he was, and he was the perfect man to come on in that pressure situation. in the final with a minute to go, because I don't think it would register with him. He'd just go and deal with it. He's like, I've got so many stories on him. I've got one. I've got to save it for my book though, because it's too long. And if I'm going to get lawsuits, I need to get paid first so I can pay him off.
It's not the one. It's not the one where. I mean, we're having a. He tells us on the bus one. He says we're having a do with next door neighbour.
I know this one though. I'm
going to do with next door neighbour for whatever reason. A stream or something.
I can't remember. It was a Boundaries or something, wasn't it? Yeah, he's a crazy man. A fantastic fella. I love Byers. I love him. But he weren't right. He weren't wired up right, to be fair. He weren't wired up. But he went to
boundary walls on his
something
his
like
property
that.
Next door. So
something like that.
He paid about $7,000 for a crane to lift a caravan into his back garden and just put like sellotape blow up dolls and dildos all over this fucking...
I think it was graffitied. I remember it making the press.
Yeah,
I think it did, didn't it?
They were trying to sell their house next door. And he went, nah, fuck you. And it just a caravan, like, you know, them old ones, like little old caravans. And it got fucking dildos and all that. So whenever everybody comes to look at property next door, and it cost them a fortune, man.
Jim, did you buy into the whole goalkeepers union thing?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think there has to be a certain camaraderie, because you're vying for the same position. So you should hate each other. You should want each other to do badly, really. But if you work like that, then do you know what I mean? It never works. It'll just never work. So in all my years in football, it's always been a real good. I've never wanted a goalkeeper to be playing and have a bad time, and that's totally honest.
Deep down, surely though.
No. Honestly, never. Don't get me wrong. If they did and they chuck one in, you'd be off thinking, fucking shame. Oh well, I might get a game next week. But you never wanted him to before, and there's no way you'd train leading up to it like you would. You know what I mean? If I saw it in any of my goalies now, I'd have serious words. If someone's playing, the rest have to be 100% behind them, because when you get your turn, you'd expect the same from them, and I'd expect the same from them. Outfield players, you've got a different position, and they're specialist positions in their own. But as a goalie, you like to say you've got two or three, possibly three sometimes, fighting for that one position, and you're with each other so often. It's strange in a way, because anyone who's not been in that position don't ever quite understand it. And I think that's why you say goalies union, because I think there has to be. And do you know what? For me as well, some of the goalies have got fucking some good banter, man. some are you've either got great banter, a madman, or you're a bit wired not right. There's no other way. It's just.
But I mean, there's not many there's not. I think you are a different breed. I mean, I'm quite good pal with Chris Kirkland, and he seems too sensible to be a goalkeeper.
Yeah, but you've got that type, Chris. You got Green is very much like that, Rob Green, and then you've got on the other side of the scale, you've got Bywater. Listen, if you can get him on. He'd be. I've got one story. We went to Greece for pre-season. 4 days we was there. So the first night we got there and trained, and we went and had a little look round. We was in the middle of Athens, to be fair. It was a brilliant place, lively, right on the main drag, loads of bars and that. So we said, we'll just have a little walk. It's famous last words, isn't it? So we ended up getting a bit too carried up. Yeah, getting a bit too carried away. Bywater's, he can't drink anyway. He is the worst drink I've ever met. So he got a few in, and he's the strongest man in the world as well when he's had a beer. So he's all there. You try to control him. So it all went a bit wonky anyway. Long story short, we ended up getting back to the hotel about 2, 3 in the morning. Paz didn't know anything about it, to be fair, because it was even late. He thought we was all in bed. It was that fucking late. So we got there. We had a game the next day against, I think it was PAOK. Fucking good side. So we end up training in the morning and playing a game. So it's still pre-season. We played the night. Oh, it was a really good game, to be honest. I think we got a 1. I can't remember the score. It might have been 1-1. It was a real close game. Their fans took to us a little bit as well, because it was such a good game. We played great football. So we played again that night. We've been steady that night. We've gone to training in the morning, and outside the hotel there's a big newsstand, and like everyone goes past. It was a fucking lively place, and we had a translator with us all the time to help us and all that. So he's gone in. Pars could see. Pars, we all come out there, and we're looking at the newsstand. It's got all the papers are like action from the game from the night before. So you've got a load of action picture on the back, loads of writing and all that. And Pars is like that. So the translator going, "Oh, what are they saying?" And the translator's like having a bit of a stutter up and all that, and we're looking at him going, "Is he telling the truth?" Like, pause. And he's gone round. He's gone. No, just saying, like, in it, breath of fresh air for an English team to be playing great football, and the fans were great, and what a good game it was, and everyone really enjoyed it, and all that. Went on for a bit too long, and we go, all right, got to train anyway. We pulled the translator after. We've gone, oh, geez, what? That didn't really say that, did it? He went, mate, I couldn't tell him what he fucking said. He's gone on it going, and the track, they knew we was out from two, and it's got a looking in the headlines going, how can English players do this? They're out till fucking 2:00 the night before, spraying the champagne in fucking whatever bar it was. They're doing this, they're doing that, and they fucking play a game like that after that. How can English players do it?
He's done you a favour there.
He did us a massive favour. So we're like, I think we give him a couple of euros. And well done, son. Well done. Honestly.
Going back to your injury, mate, how long did that keep you out then? Bear in mind your first crack at the Premier League.
You know what, Brownie? Like, I know I joke about that, but that was a real tough time. That was a hard time. That was like, so imagine I've waited all this time to get to the Prem, done everything I can to get there. My knee's fucking gone. Summer, I've had no summer because I've had rehab, I've had the operation. The lads are back in training, and West Ham at the time, Chadwell Heath, weren't a great training ground. I'm in this dingy fucking gym, and it's got bars on the windows and that. It felt like a jail. I was in jail. I was being punished for something, and I'm watching the lads preparing to play in the Prem, and I'm going. And the more it went on, I'm going, fucking hell, well, that should be me, sort of thing. How am I in here? And I was quite, why the fuck am I in here and not out there? What have I sort? And it was like a poor woe is me and all that time, really. And there was no really any light at the end of the tunnel. It took me 9 months to get fit. For 3 months, I was probably focused. And then I remember watching a game at Upton Park, and we beat Villa. And we signed Roy Carroll at the time as well. And Roy did great. Roy was a great goalie. Great lad as well. That's another story.
I've heard about Roy. I've heard stories about Roy.
Roy was brilliant, mate. What a guy. Honestly, so much time for him. But probably we weren't a good mix together, if I'm being honest. We probably like going out a bit too much. So did most of the lads, though, as well. And I remember they played Villa and they beat them 4-1. And it was an amazing game. Atmosphere was incredible. And I'm sat in there, and I've been focused after me up for 2-3 months. And I'm sat in the bar up top, and I've got all the girls looking after me and all that who worked up there, who was brilliant as well, in all the boxes. And I'm watching the game, and I remember like thinking, like my head proper went a little bit. I'm going, that should be Roy. Roy had a great game, nothing against him. I was pleased for him. But like, I'm thinking, I've done all that. Fucking should be me out there. And I remember having a glass of red and that, and I always loved the blues anyway. And I had a couple more, and then a couple more, and then that just started really. And the physios at the time had changed. So I weren't getting the treatment I needed. It looked like I weren't going to ever get fit again, to be honest. And it was one of them. I probably had 4 months where I was very. I went out too much. I was fucking not taking care of myself. I was in a real bad place at that time. Without going into too much detail, because obviously don't make light.
Did you always make it in for work though?
Do you know what, John? It would have been better if I was structured like that. But because I was out for so long, the physios had just came in, and they sort of not. What's the word? It's harsh on them. I was really hard to manage at that time when my head had gone, and like I was late for work. I wouldn't come in. I'd go in, but I'd be late, and I'd go, well, what the fuck am I? And it ended up aroused. What time did you call this? I go, well, if I'd have got here fucking half an hour earlier, what the fuck would you have done for me? You've done nothing for the last fucking month. Like, so it ended up a row, and like, and in the end, I think they just wanted me fucking not to row with them, sort of thing, and out of the way, which then made me fucking 10 times worse because I had no sign of getting back to fitness. I'm fucking feeling sorry as fuck for myself, and I've got no structure, which as a footballer, that's probably one of the things that keeps us on the fucking straight and narrow anyway. Over the time, it's hard. I know lads struggle when they retire because they then have no structure. They don't have to be somewhere at a certain time. They're not told to do this. They're not told to do that. You're left on your own. You fucking hell. It's easy to go off it.
Do you think if you'd have had a physiotherapy team would have said, right, if you're not in at fucking 9 o'clock tomorrow, mate, you find a week's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would that be better? That would have been better for you, do you think?
But it was. Do you know what? It's probably a harsh one for them. It would have been better for me. But because I was still good banter around the lads, Pards wanted to keep me in him. Do you know what I mean? So he was happy with me in him, because normally you'd take someone who's long term and take them off, and do you know what I mean, and make sure they're in it early or later. But I sort of had not more
free reign.
Yeah, they couldn't really tell me what to do. I'd tell them fuck off, basically. I just go, well, you're not doing anything anyway. And then Pards would say, just come in with the lads, have a bit of bants and all that. And Pards ended up taking me to La Manga on a pre-season about September, October, international break. But we didn't have many internationals, and I think Konchesky played. So he was the only one. Went and we all watched him in the bar. And, I mean, Bywater, again, was fucking outstanding on that trip. But there's another story. And Pards took me on that trip for banter alone. I mean, I was nowhere near fit. And I remember coming down the first day. I mean, this is funny. This is how the book probably starts. I don't want to give too much away, but I actually come down, and Pards didn't have a clue how far gone I was at this point. He just seen me come in, have bits of banter. Lads love me. But even the lads was like, not turning a little, but like, oh, look at the state of him. I came down on the first day. They went to bed about 2 a.m. I went to bed about 6. Come back down, and we all meant to be down 9 o'clock for the first of the day. And I'm meant to be down with the physio. I've come down in my dressing gown. I've had about fucking half an hour's sleep. I've come down and fucking like that. And the physio's like trying to go mental at me in front of the lads. Fucking time, you got it late, you're fine. I'm like that. And I just fucking went, nah. I don't give him a fucking Ray Liotta laugh. And looking back, you think, oh, it's bad. And I was in a bad way, really.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's funny when you like see it. But even the lads, I could feel them starting to turn a little bit. And I thought, fuck it. I went, right. And they all went to training. I'm like, a few of them look at him, going, look at the state of him and all that. And I'm like, so my head's gone even more again now. And I've got a crossroads now. Physios want me to go to the gym. I'm still beaming. I'm like, can't see that happening. So I'm thinking, right, I'm going back to the minibar in my room. And I'm thinking, that's not a good slow. I said, tell you what, I'm in my head, I'm off. I've got my shorts on anyway. I've got my robe on. I'm going to the spa. I can sweat it out a little bit. And this is gospel. This is how the book starts as well. I'm giving too much away. Like, with that. And so physio said, right, get yourself in the gym. I went, yeah, I'm going to the gym. So I've gone straight to the spa. And as I've gone in, there's a fucking hen do, about 30 Spanish birds aged between 18 and 28. And I'm like, thank you very much. Hola.
You feeling good as well?
Like a lot of them.
Oh, mate, that was unbelievable. The champagne cocktails come out. I'm texting the lads, you better get back from training sharp, by the way. Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, it was a tough. I think Pards he had no idea really about, because like I said, I probably won't go in till 12 o'clock some days. So it's like by that time you've recovered a little bit. Do you know what I mean? If I had been at 8, 9, the state of me would have been not great. So
not being held to account by anyone.
I'm not being held to account, no. And the physio left. I mean, I don't want to give the physios who came in stick, because they've got their own. They've just come in. They're in the Prem. They've never been at that level before. They've got their own. They want to look after the fit lads. And to be fair, one of them once really tried with me as well. But I was a little bit too. I was going too far down really. And it was only I went to see John Green, who was the physio before, who was an amazing fella, great coach, very straight laced. So he didn't get on with Pards, and that's why Pards got rid of him. Pards just wanted lads around him who just had banter with him and tell him how good he was. John weren't like that at all. Do you know what I mean? So John left, and he had his own practice, and I ended up going to see John. And again, long story short, and it's very. I go a lot more in depth, like in the book as I wrote it, but it was a real crossroads for me at the time. I could have gone one way or the other around this time. I could have sunk without ever coming back to anything like, never mind a professional athlete again, fucking a human being. So it was like one of those where I went to see John. I rang him and I said, you can't speak to your family really about it. No one really speaks about anything else. Your lads think I'm having banter all the time. But it gets to a point where it's not banter anymore. And I went to see John, like I said. And long story short, he got us in, and that probably stopped me going out that night, because he said, I'll see you at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I said, all right, brilliant, I'll be there. And like sat there at night, I thought, I can't go and see John steaming. So I stayed in that night, and I went to see him, and he went, "What the fuck you done to yourself?" Sort of thing, and he just laid it on the line there and then. Said,
just by looking at you,
just by looking at the shape, and you look at my knee was bigger than my head. So I mean, that's 4 months in. It should be, people get back from 6 months. I mean, mine was always going to be 8-9 months minimum anyway because of the severity of it. So I knew I had 9 months, but he just looked, and I'm 4 or 5 months in, maybe 6 months nearly, and he's looked at the size of my knee, the size of my belly, and that, and gone, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, you need to make a decision because you've gone one way or the other here." And that was it. And I needed that. And there's a lot more happened around that time, but maybe a lot less lighter sort of show, and I ended up turning it round.
So
from that, really.
What would you say that you had a problem with drink, or you had a problem injured?
I think it was an accumulation, John. Really,
mentally being away from the game.
It was funny because there was always something to do down there. Do you know what I mean? I knew like a lot of people down there at the time who weren't footballers, so like knew, and there was fantastic lads looked after me, treat, and they wouldn't know how I was feeling in the slightest. They just see me injured, having a good time. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to paint a terrible picture because it was an unbelievable time. It was an amazing 4 or 5 months. Fucking hell, I'd had the Penno save. I'd had the season. We got promoted. Everyone wanted to say hello. Everyone wanted to speak to you. Everyone wanted to pat you on the back still. Everyone wanted to ask how the knee is and all that. And I'm going, yeah, it's fine. But in my head, I'm going, I can't see me playing again. And I think that was the end. That was the main bit of it. Was as much as I'm disguising it with going out. And like I say, when I'm out, it was brilliant. But then when you get back on your own, it's tough and you go down. So then I either stay indoors and crack a bottle of Red Open on my own and get even more depressed, or I ring someone and say, "What you doing? Fancy fucking like that?" And then it started from, "Oh, we'll have a golf this afternoon," to, "Fuck the golf, we're just going to have half a lager at the King Willie." And it escalated, and then it escalated, and it comes to a real crossroads where, fortunately, I made the right decision.
The escapism's going out.
It was. I had no escape. I couldn't play football. I had no sign of playing football. And I know what football's like. If you're not, that's soon going to go. The pats on the back are soon going to go if you don't come back anytime soon. You might have 1 or 2 years at that, and then, that's that guy who used to play for West Ham. And it could have been fucking, look at the size of him now or something. You know what I mean? It could be anything. So I wanted to get back playing more than anything, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with my knee. He was in no fit state. So I went out the other side. And the only way I could be with the lads as well, I couldn't be with them on the pitch. And I love the lads. I could be with them on a night out. I'm fucking main man on the night out again with them. Can't do it on the pitch. They've got the escape. They'll have a night out, but then they'll go and focus on the next game. I didn't have that. And it was tough. And it took me a while. And again, you think about moments. And when I started to turn it round, I remember we played Spurs away. And this is the time I sort of said I need to focus. And I actually went hospitality with a few of the lads I know from round and about, not footballers. And there was, again, great lads, but if I wanted a night out, they was on the end of the phone. They fucking loved going out with me. Yeah, Jim, fucking right. Yeah, they loved going out with me. I just fucking won the playoffs for West Ham, you know what I mean? They went to hospitality and went, "Jim, yeah, you want to come?" I said, "Brilliant." Yeah, normally I'd be on it from 9 a.m. with them. But they're having the first drinks and all that, and I'm trying to bat it off, and it was hard. Don't get me wrong, I'm fucking like that. And I watched the game, and I still didn't have a drink. I felt sure, but they was good as gold when I explained it. I said, "Look, I'm trying to fucking get my head right. I need to get back playing again, blah." And they was good as gold after that. But then I watched the game, and Anton Ferdinand scored in the last minute to equalise, and the fucking atmosphere was incredible, and it was brilliant. The West Ham fans again went off, and it was great. And I just thought about it was the first time I see clearly how much I missed playing. And from then, everyone went back inside to the hospitality, and I just remember sat at the top of the stands, and the lads were still celebrating and warming down and celebrating with the fans that was kept in a bit longer. Do you know what I mean? Because and I just remember sat at the top. I didn't go and see anyone, didn't say anything. I just sat at the top of the stand and watched them. And I thought, do you know what? That actually that means more to me than any of this lot. Not per people, like playing wise, means more to me than anything else in me. And that gave me a renewed focus. And I think from that moment I went, that's it. And I went back to see Johnny Green. Long story short, and I was back in the gym with him at 6 a.m. every morning.
Change your whole lifestyle.
Yeah, changed it. I had to change. It was the only way. He laid it on the law. He said it's the only way to do it. You start with me at 6 a.m. I'll take you in the morning. You can go into the ground at 9. After that, so I still had my time with the lads. I still had my time with the physios there, although they didn't do loads with me. And then I'd go have lunch with the lads. So I got my fix of the lads. And then instead of then going out after, I'd go back to Johnny Green and spend another 2-3 hours with him. And
you doing that at your own expense?
I was doing that at my own expense, yeah. It was something I had to do. I didn't want to tell anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone to know, just get away from it. And I mean, I know I'm going on a little bit now and that, but I never sort of had that goal setting thing before it and all that. But through John, it was like, right, you need to start setting these dates when you come back, something to focus on. Give yourself something to focus on. And I did. And at the club, I had no idea whether I was even going to get fit or not. Like, they just looked at me as fucking no chance. But the more I went, it got to sort of the January window. And I heard Pars was going to take someone on loan to finish the season. There's a bit of backup as well, or to play. And I went to see Pars. I went, look, I promise you, I'll be back on this date. And he went, but the fucking physios wrote you off for the season, Jim. You might not ever come back. I need to get someone. I'm like, I went, I promise you. I've never let you down before. I'll give you this date. That'll be my first resi game. That'll be my first training game. That'll be my first resi game. I'll play 3 resi games and I'm good to play. And unfortunately, it worked out. It worked out really well. Which was good.
It's mad that, isn't it? I mean, like you could have just carried on with the old, but I mean, obviously, from speaking to you for the last 3 hours, still.
Sorry, I can't go on.
I'm not. Okay, but no matter how you had your life and everything and enjoy the away from football, you still got that. Right, I'm going to get back for that day.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's the drive, mate. You can have a laugh at a joke, you can have a pint with the best of them, but when it comes to it, you love your football and you want to be a footballer.
Absolutely.
But you needed that guy to literally say, right, fucking sort your shit out.
100%. I needed that. 100%. I'd have never done it on my own.
Sorry, do you think it could have been very different if it weren't for him?
Oh, absolutely. I gave him and the surgeon as well was brilliant, Andy Williams. And to be fair to John, he took me to see Andy again because he wanted to see how fucking bad the knee was because I'd done nothing with it in 5-6 months. And
Jim, you say that, but it was you that stood there and went, I want to be part of that. That's what. So you sourced this John Green, the physio. It was you that made the decision to go after that.
Yeah.
All the credit.
Absolutely. And I sort of knew, obviously John was there before and then he left. And it just panned out that I think I'd not spoken to him for months. I mean, he said, come and see me anytime, anything for the knee, come and see me. So 2-3 months when I started, I was with him doing bits anyway. And that it's just then when I went by the wayside, I'd not spoken to him for like 2-3 months, probably 4 months after that. And it was just something in me that said, who can help me? Like I had to ask for help. There's different ways of helping. You know, people need help for all sorts of things. Unless I couldn't go and talk to my family, I couldn't go and talk to the lads and say that. So I think fucking hell. And I think Johnny Green probably the only man I could. And thankfully, I made the call and he agreed to see me. And I dedicated my first Prem shirt to him. To be fair, and just put on it like would not have achieved this without you. Thanks for everything. And that was true.
But you could have gone to see him 2 months earlier, you know, when you were bang on it and whatever. So it might have held you back a little bit, but as long as you end up getting to the goal where you're wanting to, you know what I mean?
Like I said before, you've got to go through that process before you get there.
Yeah.
It's almost like you've got to hit the bottom before you're ready to work your way up and seek the help from whoever, the different catalysts. Obviously, you knew him before and you knew that you could speak to him. But you've got to hit that bottom place before you pick that form.
Absolutely, hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail, exactly what you said. You got to hit the bottom before you can build yourself up. And fortunately, I had someone to help me and then help myself. People have different problems. That was me getting back. Fitness was my main. I had something to focus on. Do you know what I mean? People have all sorts of addictions, illnesses. It's easy to say, ask for help. It's really hard to do it, actually. But it's the only way to. It is the only way to help yourself.
Jimmy, if I could get serious for a minute, was there many in the Hoodoo above a 9?
Well, the ones I ended up with was 9, 8.5, and 7, and then the last one was a 4.
We've hit rock bottom. We've hit rock fucking bottom.
That's when I hit rock bottom.
That was rock bottom.
No, but it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And to get back fit and play in the Prem was amazing. And then we had the FA Cup final, which was great. Another story. I should have played. I was hoping to play in that. Parts, to be fair, went with Shaka. I understood it. As hurt as I was in his head for weeks. I've come back. Everyone wrote me off. I played in the Prem games before it. Shaka played in the Cup games and a few Prem games, so we mixed up. And I thought, I'm in Pards' head for 3 weeks going, you need to play me. It's fate. Like, fucking everyone's wrote me off. It's a year to the day. The same pitch, the same fucking bit of grass, the same stadium. Everyone's wrote me off there. I've come back miraculously. It's fate. It's written in the stars, Pards. And he's like, I hear you. And I'm thinking, I'm in here. I'm in. Come on. And he pulled me on the Thursday before it. I said, look, I'm going to go with Shaka. And we had a disagreement for about 20 minutes, but it would have been harsh not to play him. Shaka had been great. Big Shaka Hislop had been great all through. And then I still couldn't help feeling throughout it, and still now, that I might not save Gerrard's shot. I know I said I would when I'm joking about. I just felt that was the one moment that would redeem everything. Do you know what I mean? And not being able to make it hurt me. It still hurts now a little bit. You've got to deal with it.
He was a bit lazy getting down though, wasn't he?
Shaka was a great goalie, but I don't even think I give the corner away. I think I stick it. I'm being honest. I stick it and change history. That's all. I don't know.
West Ham FA Cup winners.
Still fucking hurts me now. I ain't even lie. But to have the chance of playing that would have just cemented it nice for me, but that wasn't to be. And unfortunately, after that, I came back next year and I had to have another. I played for a little bit and got real good shape and it looked like it, but my knee was not quite right, and I couldn't train a full week and play on a Saturday and then train a full week. And if I'm honest, I was never. Some players can get away with, like your Paul McGraths, your Ledley Kings, Brad Friedel, don't need to train all week, and they can play on a Saturday. I was never that good of that bracket to be able to do that at that level.
You need to train, like you need to train.
For me to play at that level week in, week out, I had to be 100% right, training 100% right, living 100% right. And if I could have done that with my knee, I would have done that 1,000,000% and give myself the best chance. But I couldn't do it with a knee. It just wouldn't allow it. There was that much. I did the ACL, I did the posterior, I did the lateral, I did the meniscus, I did the medial. I did them all. I did all. There's 5 or 6 you can do, and I did 4 badly out of the 5 and 1 not so bad. So it was touch and go anyway, and I just couldn't quite train. And to get to that level of playing week in, week out in the Prem, I was never good enough, not quite good enough I had to train and play and look after myself the best I could. So I found my niche sort of after, and I had another 6 months out with another op, which really hurt. That one hurt. And that sort of cemented where I was in my career after that. I was more, they signed Rob Green after that, who was fantastic. He was amazing. And he did exactly that. He did exactly what I've just said. He trained 100%, he lived 100%, and he was focused 100%. And he was less talented than some goalies I've worked with. But he gave himself the best opportunity, and he went on and was fantastic and played for England. So there was my thoughts of what maybe I could have, and that will always be a little bit of a, in my head, maybe what could have. But it just wasn't. So after the second op, I just couldn't reach that level. I was a good backup goalie. But
at this point, are you thinking, I just want to make as much money as I can. I just want to prolong my career as much as I can, and just stay.
Well,
just in and around it.
Yeah, well, it's like, I could still do a great job. I just couldn't. If you wanted me in for 2 or 3 games, I'd be fine. And I was a great number 2, sort of knew my role as a number 3 if I needed to be. But it was one of them. How good is it to where I'd come from and everything I've done to be actually still in the Prem, being around the squad and the team for every game, on the bench, in the squad. I was travelling everywhere still. It's a great thing to be. And what a great living. There's nothing better to do. And I changed my mindset to, I want to play every week. And if I weren't playing, I was pissed off at whatever level I played at. I changed it to all right, I'm going to I can't do it this level every week. Do I want to drop down to Div 1, maybe the bottom of the champ, not train all week and still do okay? Or would I rather stay in the Prem and be around it? And that's the thing I chose. And I thought I could nick the old cup games. I could nick, the old games like that, and never quite worked out that way in the end. And it did come back to me in the end, because after 2 years of doing that, I just sort of wanted to play. I was fit, and I could, even if I didn't need to train, not in the Prem, but in the Champ, definitely, maybe. Div 1, definitely. So I wanted to go and play. I was like, maybe 2-3 years left at it. I thought, you know what, I'll go and play. And I was all set to do that. And I ended up doing that. I mean, we've not touched on Spurs yet, but I was there for a year doing exactly that role, second, third choice. And it was a fantastic year. It was an amazing year. And I could have stayed. Harry asked me to stay doing that, and it was a choice there. But if I'm going to have another 2 years left, I think I'd rather play. Forget the money. Forget. Like, I actually want to go and play. And Walsall got in touch with me then, and my mate had took over as manager, Martin O'Connor, and there was desperate trouble, and he asked me to come back, and I went back. I trained on the Tuesday with. I'm rolling the ball out to Modric, who's chopping about 5 players, popping out to Bale. Bale's wrapping it into Van der Vaart, who's fucking laying off for Defoe to smashing the top bin. Crouch is fucking coming this way. Robbie Keane smashing one against me. I'm making a save there. Unbelievable place to play football. I went from that on a Tuesday, signed for Walsall, and trained there on the next day. I think it was a Thursday, actually. Wednesday at Spurs, Thursday at Walsall with, like, no disrespect, Darren Byfields and fucking sort of on a shit heap of a pitch. And I thought, what the fuck have I done? what was I thinking?
Did you nearly sign for Derby before Spurs?
I did, yeah, I did. So I knew sort of West Ham was coming to an end. I mean, Zola took over. I mean, obviously, I had Curbs before that. And it was a fantastic time. It was a great time. I knew my role. Yeah, and I loved the club. I loved being around the lads. The fans were always brilliant to me. Curbs came in, took over. We had the Great Escape. So I mean, there was something every year. We had the playoffs. I personally had the Lampard penalty save. We had the playoffs in the first season. Then we had the FA Cup final next season, and then we had the Great Escape, which we was down at that point. We was 8. Jesus, I think we was like, I can't even remember how many points we were adrift, but we won 8 out of the last 9 games. And Tevez came to the party out of nowhere. So it was a brilliant time. Zola came in, and I was on my way out a little bit. I went on loan. I wanted to go and play again, and I thought, you know what? And I spoke with Zola, and he said, look, I'm not seeing you play. No offence, but I've got Greeny playing. I can't remember who was on defense at the time. He said, so if you go and play out on loan, because if I need you, come out. I said, you know, it's a great shot. I'll go and play on loan. So I went to Colchester, actually, and had a real good 3 months there. Really enjoyed it. Loved playing. That gave me the thought of playing again anyway, sort of thing. So that came to an easier end than it would have been to leave West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Zola, I'd not really played under him, weren't going to play. He was a fantastic fella. He couldn't have been any nicer about it. And that was it. Just went separate ways. We both agreed. I didn't try and push it or anything. And he said, and I wanted to go at that time anyway. Anyway, so, I mean, I saw Harry Redknapp in the summer at a golf day. And I know Harry bits, but not loads. And I spoke to Harry, and he said, oh, what you doing next season? And I just said, oh, do you know what, last few years, I want to go and play somewhere. I've got Colchester, I've got a couple of others, and maybe Derby, like, I'm going to play week in, week out. It'd be a great way to finish. He's like, oh, yeah, no, it'd be great. And he happened to say, he went, he said, well, it's a shame, though, you've got that sort of, because desperate for a bit of cover, a bit of experience cover. I'm like, well, I can be swayed a little bit here, Rach, you know? and to be...
Colchester, Derby. What the fuck is Derby?
So I mean, like, and I mean, it was hilarious how it happened, because I've been Marbella with Brownie's mate Ben Anik and a few of the other lads who were down there, and had a fantastic, and I had a real good summer. So let's just say that. I think you're going to ask me a question about the bandage on the head at one point. That was that summer. But so I had a real good summer, proper good summer, and then. I'd come back from Marbella like about a day before this, and I had this golf day and forgot all about it. So I got the call, Jimmy, still coming in? I was like, yeah, no problems. I felt ropey as fuck. So I'm on the water. I'm on the ice water. And I'm talking to Harry on the ice water, and everyone else is getting steaming around it. And Harry's going to me, he's going, yeah, you've always been a good pro, Jim. You've always been a good pro. I'm thinking, fuck me, if he's only seen me for the last 4 weeks. But so I'm on the ice, and he's gone, oh, I'd love a bit of experience for it. I was like, do you know, I've sort of agreed it with Derby, or Colchester, so I've got to make mine up an end, so I feel bad on him really. He's gone, look, don't worry, if nothing comes of it, I'll have a look still, but I'd love to take you down there. I was like, oh, fucking hell, that's put a spanner in the works. But I thought, I'm back in the same boat. They had Gomez, they had Kudicini, they had Ben, Button. It's a good goalies there. And I'm thinking I'm going to be third, second best case, second choice, more third. I thought, I actually would prefer to go and play again, to be honest. So I went to Derby, met Cloughie. And long story short, Cloughie I met him before the game. They needed to win a couple to stay up. And we ended up shaking hands on it. It was like a fucking Jerry Maguire moment. Words stronger than oak and all that bollocks. I learned a fucking lesson at 38 there. And we shook on it, and I agreed the deal. It was not quite as much as West Ham, but it was a good deal. It was better than like Colchester could offer, even though there was a really good deal. So I'm thinking playing on a good screw still, it's the one. If they stay up, happy days. So we shook on it. They won the game. They won the next one, and they stayed up. So I spoke to Clough. He said, brilliant. He said, yeah, be in touch over the summer. We'll get it all sorted. So I thought, brilliant. So I've gone away for the summer thinking it's fucking signed and sealed, but obviously I haven't put pen to paper or anything. Had the great time, seeing Harry at the golf day, come back, and it's like pre-season, but I've heard nothing from Cloughie. I'm like, that's a bit strange. And his words were, he promised me, he said, look, there'll be you and Stevie Bywater. There was Roy Carroll there as well, and there was Lewis Price. And he said, look, I'm going to get them two out. I said, well, look, do you need to get them out before you get me in? Because I've got other things on the table if not. And he said, no, fucking words stronger than oak, blah, blah, blah. Deal's there. It'll be you and Steve. Even if I can't get the others out, they won't train with us. It'll be used to. I was like, all right, I'll take your word at that. And so anyway, got to middle of July. Everyone's back training for a couple of weeks. I'm like, trying to ring Cloughie, texting him, nothing back. What the fuck's going on here? So I ended up leaving a message about 3 weeks in. Said, right, Nige, what the fuck's going on, mate? Like, I thought it was done and signed and sealed. I'm coming down the training ground now to fucking, like, to see you. I need to know what's cracking off, like. Answering me call. I should have done it earlier, to be fair. But anyway, I went down to the fucking training ground. He rang me back then when I, not threatened to go down the training, but said I was going, ran back and said, Jim, fucking chairman's killed me. I've got to get them two out before I can get you in. I said, what was the exact words we fucking said? Do you have to get them two out before I come in? No, you're in. Like, come on, you're fucking killing me. It's 3 weeks into fucking pre-season. Colchester's deal's well gone. I had 2 or 3 others that was and ahhing that have all signed people. Like, fuck. He said, look, I don't want to stitch you. And Cloughie was all right. He just fucking could have said the truth then. But he's gone. He said, come and train. And while you're in the building, I'll get a deal done. And we'll force chairman's hand and all that. So at least I thought, all right, fair play. At least he's crafted for us. So I went in, but I've not trained. So I'm 3-4 weeks off everyone else, really. So I weren't great shakes. I was all right. Going to train and Cloughie's, anyway, long story short, Cloughie's ended up offering me like a quarter of the deal that he offered. He said, that's all I can do. The chairman won't go to any more of that. I said, fucking hell, I can't do it for that. Like, I'd be better off going to fucking Walsall. And so I'm thinking, I've got nothing else though. Fucking season's starting. Like, I'm going to have to take his offer. So I'm sat there and I've been in his office and I was talking to Jake Livermore, who was on loan from Spurs at the time. It's fucking surreal. And we're watching the big screen in the canteen and fucking Harry's doing his usual fucking winding the window down, speaking to the fucking cameras like that. And they've asked him, they've said like, he's wound the window down and fucking he's on the screen. He's like, what are you looking to take? You know, I think the question was like, are you looking to bring anyone else in? So Harry's like, nah, I'm all right now. We've probably settled for what we're going to get. No more business. So probably the only thing I'd like to do is maybe a couple of experienced ones. One experienced right back, maybe right side, and then maybe an experienced goalkeeper as a bit of cover. I'm like, fucking Jake, fucking. All right, I'm off. Rang Harry. He went, yeah, Jim, all over. You're not signed. I thought you signed the Derby. I said, no, nothing done. He went, fucking perfect. I'm desperate for someone like you. Get yourself. My house in Woodford, a minute from the training ground, 2 minutes max. It was fucking heaven. It was magical. So I'm right, and he's gone. Yeah, come down. All I need to do is train for 3 or 4 days. Show Parksy, the goalie coach, you've still got it. Show me you can still do it. I ain't seen you play for a while. I know you'll be great around the lads. Just come down, get a feel for everything, and there's a deal to be done. Mate, I never said bye to no one. I was gone. The car didn't even fucking touch the tarmac. I was fucking down the M11 before anyone knew what had happened. Right, and I went in the next day and met them all and trained, and like I'm thinking, I was probably over the top. Like, I'm like, yeah, I feel fit, H, feel fit. He's going, you look good, look in good shape. I'd had a couple of weeks training, so I weren't too bad. So I'm in the shooting. I'm going, yeah, one more. I'll do some more. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll cross the finishing. Yeah, I'm fucking in. Of course I am. I'm in. Mate, I was out there for fucking hours. As I'm leaving the ground, so I'm on trial really at this point. So as I'm leaving the ground, I'm like, Gaffer, H, see you tomorrow. Poxy, brilliant. Yeah, can't wait for tomorrow's session already. Brilliant. Great. I'm on the way back. I got out of the car about 2 minutes away to get me out. So I went, oh, for fuck's sake. Stiffy now. I've run the bath. The fucking hot tub's on. I'm like, oh.
Get the Radox out.
The Radox is back out. I think I'm bringing people for rubs. And I get up in the morning I go, oh, I'm banging trouble here. I can't train. I'm thinking, by the time I got through them gates at fucking not Chadwell Heath, at Spurs Lodge, I was a new man again. It was like something come out. I'm like, morning all, morning. I feel great, feel amazing. Yeah.
So do you think that Cloughy stitched you up, or do you just think his hands were tied, or a bit of both, or what?
Do you know what? He stitched me up, but I don't think he meant it. It was one of those things. I think he thought one thing that was promised.
Yeah.
And it didn't come right. And I think he was a little bit. I mean, I never saw him since that day I left. I never saw him till probably when did I finish? So probably 4 or 5 years later when I was coaching, and I think he was manager at Burton possibly, and I was at Peterborough possibly. And that's the first time we've met each other since that day. We both sort of looked and went, all right. Because I didn't say anything. Didn't speak to him again. I just went, bang. Didn't come back. Didn't speak to no one. Only Jake Livermore knew who was next to me when I took the call. That was it.
There's a difference between like thinking this cunt stitched me up, or his hands are tied, isn't there? You know what I mean? Because his hands are tied. We lost stuff.
Massive difference. And I don't think for 1 minute he stitched me up. What I should have done, I stitched myself in a way. I didn't use agents because I didn't really like them at the time. Although a lot of my mates are now agents, which is funny enough, and they're fucking great lads. And I'd fucking use them now. But at the time, I didn't really like agents. I thought I'd do it myself. But what I learned then, even at that late age, was someone says the fucking words you bond, fucking, yeah, brilliant. Show me the piece of paper. Show me the piece of paper and I'll sign it. Then I believe you. So it was a hard, even at that age, like it was a lesson to learn. I didn't think it happened, but it did. But it fucking worked out well in the end, so I was delighted because then I sort of got a deal round back at the West Ham money. Yeah, so I was buzzing.
Yeah, today, what was Redknapp like? Because we've heard conflicting reports on him.
I loved him. I thought he was great. Do you know what? He's one of those. He's probably not what you've seen. I mean, I think you've seen more of his personality now when he's done things outside of football.
The Sicky Toffee Pudding advert.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll let him go for that. He gave me 18-month deal, so I'll let him go for that. But I loved how he was brilliant to me. But sometimes, you see him wind the wind down. He's not quite what he seems. He's all confident and that, and I'll do this and all. Really quite sort of a warrior at times. I felt like I'm worried about formations and teams. And I'm right, it's your fucking manager. You've got a lot on your plate. But like the one that got me was, I mean, he was. I don't want to fucking. I hate Kane and Harry because he's a fucking great bloke and still speak to him now. But this one sums him up. Is like Bailey, Gareth Bale. We all know fucking how good a player Gareth Bale's turned out to be. Well, Gareth in that point was going on fucking loan to Nottingham Forest while he was at Spurs, and I was having a chat with Bailey in the change room. When he said this, I said, no, you're too good for that, mate. Just stay. Harry will see the light. And what it was, he had a jinx. Harry thought he had a jinx. Bailey had a jinx. He'd played for, and this is what I mean about overthinking. He thought Bailey had a jinx on him because every time Gareth had played for about, and it was something ridiculous like 20 games, they'd never won. They'd never won a game when Bale had played or come on the pitch. So I was on the bench. I was like, I was number 2 because Cudicini, bless him, I fell off his bike. I swear my old man didn't run him over, honestly. But he fell off his bike and got a road accident. And, I mean, fortunately, it was fine because it was a bad one and another fantastic fella. But that sort of slipped me into second, third choice with Ben. And so I was on the bench for one of the games with Gomez playing. And I was behind Harry and Joe and Clive Allen and Bondi. and we was 2-0 up. I think it was Man City. 2-0 up. And he's gone, and 10 minutes left or something. So they're all having the convo. So I'm right behind, so I can hear him. They're going, fucking, I'm definitely not doing Harry's voice, by the way. and he's going, fucking hell, I'm going to get Bailey on, break the hoodoo. So he's going, I'm going to break the hoodoo. I'm going to get Bailey on. And they're all like, yeah, great idea. We're 2-0 up, we're cruising the game. He's brought Gareth on. Within a minute, fucking, they've nearly scored. And he's like, fucking hell. And then another minute later, I think they either actually did score or we got away with one massively. I think they scored and made it back to 2-1. And I swear to God, he's like, I've got to take him off. He's got to come off. Jeff, get his number ready. He's getting his number ready. And Bale is coming back off the pitch. As you guys say. And in the end, I think we go down the other end and score to make it 3-1 or 3-0. And he stays on the pitch. And the rest, as they say, is fucking history.
Yeah.
So you were genuinely contemplating taking Bale off after being on for 3 minutes?
On my life, he was genuinely coming off the pitch. Well, he's not one. Like, Harry in his head's going, Bailey's got hoodoo over him. He's not, and that's a lot of games, 20-something games or something ridiculous. And he's gone, right, I'll break the hoodoo, I'll bring him on. And we was in control of the game. He came on, they hit the post, or I might have scored, like I said, I can't remember the exact score, but it looked like he was going to score 2 or 3. The whole momentum changed. He's like, I've got to take him off. He's got to come on. And he was getting his number ready. Then we scored at the other end and we finished the game. And since, I mean, brilliant. But I think if you ask Harry, he'll have a different story, though, and he might go, he was just waiting on the right time for him to kick on.
How did you get on with Pavlyuchenko?
I love Pav. Pav was great. Pav. Well, when I was at West Ham, it's a long story short. When I was at West Ham, he actually rented my house off me in Woodford when I went on loan to Colchester because it was a bit far to travel. So I rented it out to him. It was fucking hilarious. So imagine, like, I did it through Roberto, the player liaison at Spurs, who's another great guy. And he said, get Pavs in there. Pavs had just come from where he'd ever come from, Russia, and he was getting weighed in. So he didn't care about money. So I said a ridiculous amount because I didn't even want to rent it. I said, well, I put all the bills. The bills are only like, council tax and a few lecky bills. I said, I put all them in and we'll call it like, I think call it about fucking $9,000 a month. The house is all right, but it weren't that. I'll put all the bills in so he's not got to worry about it. He can settle in nicely. And they agreed to it. I was like, I can move to Colchester, it is then. But like, because I never had anyone look after the gaff, whenever there was anything wrong with it, which weren't very often, but Roberto would ring me and he'd say, look, can you come round? Something's wrong in the garden or something's wrong in the hot tub or whatever. So I'd go round and just have a look before I do it. So it's the only time I'd ever seen Pav. I'm going round to fix the house he lives in. So I think he thinks I'm like fucking maintenance man. So when I signed for Spurs, he just left the house in that summer. So he had 6 months in there, realised he was paying about 10 times over the odds. I was delighted. And I had my house back because I was coming back that way anyway. So I came back in. Now, last time I see Pav was, and I fined him a bit of money because he'd wrecked a couple of carpets or rugs. He didn't like them, so he just binned them out into the garage. And I ain't gonna lie, they weren't expensive, but to the inventory, there was about $4,000 a pop. So I'm like, Pav, fucking hell, it's a $4,000 fucking rug, mate. It's like, it's Persian IKEA, this. So I end up saving all his deposit as well, so he was screwing at me. And he's not. And the next time he sees me, I'm in the changing room with him. And I can see him looking at me going, "It's my fucking handyman." That's the geezer who's just robbed me from the rugs.
What was the crack with Redknapp claiming a goal that he scored?
It's brilliant. But it was another time. I mean, sometimes it's better to be a lucky manager than a good manager, I suppose. But Harry was both, to be fair, at times. I mean, what he's done in the game is unbelievable. But we was away. I think it was Wigan away, and the crowd had gone mental. And Pav was a terrible trainer, but he knew where the goal was. He scored every game, so the crowd loved him. And I remember them going mental, like we was 1-0 down or something. They going mental, going singing Super Pav and all that, pal. And Harry's talking to Bondi, that going, I'm gonna have to fucking bring him on. I have to bring him on. Anyway, it was 0-0, I think, at the time. He wanted a goal. We went 1-0 down, so the crowd got louder and louder. Super pub, super pub. And he's like, I'm talking to Joe Jordan. Joe's like, fucking no way, no. He don't try a leg, Harry. He don't try a leg. And he never did. He was terrible in training, terrible. And at this point, he weren't even bothered. And like, 1-0 down, still getting good. He's gone, I'm going to have to put him on. So he stuck him on out of hope more than anything. Scored 2-1 win. I was in the papers. We were just picking the right time to get him on.
No jinx this week.
No jinx. Brilliant. But like I say, it's good to be lucky, isn't it? Goes brilliant. Honestly,
was it Russian, Pavlichenko?
He was Russian. He was a lovely fella. After the first initial few blips of when I came in, he realised I weren't the handyman that robbed him. And I was actually going to be his teammate. We was all right after that.
It's a main feature on the podcast, mate, but there must have been a decent Christmas do. Any kind of Christmas do to comment on.
Well, there was yeah. There was never like a big drinking sort of crew there, but there was great lads. But we had good nights out. But the ones we had, there was quite big hitters there. There was on a lot more dough than I'd ever been used to. Even West Ham's like good money, but not good money. You're about
Robbie Keane Tottenham money.
Exactly, it's good money, like, and great lads as well. And I won't begrudge them a penny, but we used to go out on a night. So we had a little triangle if we went out ever, and we'd go. So it was always a bit of casino. It was never a mad night, like never clubbing as much. There was Nobu where you go for foods. So on like Mayfair bit down that way, down near the Grosvenor and that in London. So there's Nobu.
Jimmy has no idea.
Brownie knows.
Mayfair. No, I've no idea where the
I lost my head.
Monopoly, that's it.
I lost my head. But like they used to go Nobu, Whiskey Miss was the club, and I can't remember the casino's name. Colony Club. So they got this. I was never a big hitter. It's good money for me, but never a big hitter. So they go down and they'd order went into Nobu one night to start the night on and it was like beef tartare and stuff. The ridiculous starters was like £50 a starter and that. And I'm like, I'd no way pay that shit. I'm still Mansfield in me. And it did have cocktails coming in at like 20 quid a pop and all that, and bottles of champagne and like food all round, scampies and scallops at like 100 quid. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Lads will pay for it. It's fine, not a bother. So they end up one night having bright ideas, about 20 of us out. So bear in mind, you're talking 30 quid a starter, 50, 60 quid a main, loads of cocktails at 20 quid a pop, 20 odd lads having a good night. It's not the Christmas do, it's like a pre-Christmas do. So someone's had a bright idea. Let's spoof for it. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? There's 25 lads. I'm not going to get done, am I? Sat with Ben Anick, like, obviously, me and Ben are like, I don't fancy losing this. Like, we're trying to work it out. It's at least £1 a pop. It must be 25, 30 grand bill here. So anyway, show face, like, yeah, I'm in, yeah, no problem. So I've only got my Yorkshire Bank cards. I got my Yorkshire Bank cards and gone in with Coots and all that. Like, and it's gone into this big, got the waitress over and all that, and she's looking prettiest one day. Right, come and hold this, babe. And we've got this. All the lads have put their credit cards in. Last one to be drawn out has to pay the bill. So I'm like, I'm talking to Ben. I'm going, I ain't gonna lie, mate. I could do it not losing this one. he's going me and all, mate, because we weren't on the biggest. So they're having a bit of banter, and one by one they're getting pulled out, and all you're getting when they pulled out is like Bale gets pulled out. He's like, Robbie Keane gets pulled out. He's like, little bit of celebration, but not a lot. Happy day. I'm fucking in it to about the last 4. I'm like, my arse is going now massively. I'm thinking, and I said to Ben, I said, mate, I ain't gonna lie, you might have to sub me. This is gonna be embarrassing. That Yorkshire Bank card ain't got enough to cover this, innit? I ain't got a savings card with me. This is gonna get declined. I'm like, right, cunt. So like that, I got down to the final 2, and I'm still in there in the flipping thing. Me and Luka Modric. Not a big hitter enough, is he? I'm like, And I swear, honestly, I could hear the Yorkshire Bank card clinking in the flipping thing. Like how shaking it was. I'm on the outside shaking. My Yorkshire Bank gold card's inside shaking as well. Like how clinking on the fucking thing. I'm going, oh my God. I'm like, and they've made a big deal of pulling it out. And they're going, I'm going, just pull the fucking thing, will you? And the bird's gone in. Fucking, and I just saw the first bit of the gold Yorkshire Bank cards come out. I'm like, I've rugby tackled the waitress. I've fucking jumped, slid on all the table. I'm fucking on top of them celebrating over. Lads, like it was about the bill was about 37 grand. I was like, I fucking celebrated like you've never believed. Modric just got his car and gone like, oh, yeah, it's fine. Make it to 40, babe. I was still on the table.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant.
There's levels, isn't there? There's levels.
There's levels. That was levels. That weren't good. That could buy me an ass in Mansfield. But we had the Christmas do. The one, yeah, it was hilarious. And Harry he'd not made a big thing of it beforehand. It was just, he thought it was an unwritten rule that we weren't having a Christmas do. He'd made it clear that he thought it was old hat. You've all got your different thoughts on Christmas do's. I love them. I like nights out with lads. I think there's a time and a place. You can bond, you can get together. It's a great time to kick on with your mates. You've learned things about people you probably won't speak to in the changing room. So I like it. Harry hated it. And I think he'd made it clear on the press and no Christmas do's and all that. But we sort of like not listened a little bit. So big Robbie Keane's doing the Christmas do, isn't he? Doing the organising, going to Dublin with flying private and all that. I'm like, I could do Harry calling this off already, to be fair. It's fucking right. It's a right divvy up here. I'm used to putting like 50 quid, 100 quid in the kitty and all that. And he's asking for like a couple of grand. I'm like, what do you mean? I said, I don't think I can make it, mate. I've got something on. No, anyway, so we had to do. We went to Dublin and we forgot all about Harry's review. We flew out. It was a great crack. We started off and we're about 4 or 5 pints of Guinness in. I always remember the big tempura prawns are all coming around. We're dipping it in with the mussels and all that and the cockles. And I'm about 6 pints of Guinness in. Lads are having a bit of bants and all that. And we've got the Sky Sports screen in the background. I'm fucking just about halfway down this Guinness. And like, thinking, who comes on? Gaffer, Redknapp's on. We're like, he's going, ask the question, Christmas do this year? Your lads having one or something? He's going, nah, my lads know it's fucking banned this year. There is no Christmas do. We're like, oh, fuck. This ain't going to go down. We're in the middle of Temple Bar, fucking 25 of us. I said, so we've all got together and we've gone, listen, this could go wonky. Like, we don't want to derail us. Like, we had a private party sorted anyway. He said, let's just have a quiet time, stay in there, have a few, but good bands, sing with a band and all that, and then, but keep everything on the down low. Like, yeah, great idea. Fucking 2 o'clock, we got fucking 8-foot crouch in the middle of the dance floor like that, doing the robot with about 20 members around him. Dave Bentley's doing a stage dive into the fucking bottle bins and that. I was like, I think this might be getting back.
Did it?
Well, we had, there was a picture, and I mean, I spent about it. Big Ledley King. Ledley King's a fantastic lad. Gentle giant. If he has a drink, he's carnage. Carnage. And he's so strong as well and big. And he had a few. He never drinks, but when he lets loose, he lets loose. So he'd not had one all year. He had one at Christmas too. I think someone got a picture of him walking back through the airport to the plane with one shoe on and one shoe off and all his shirts ripped and all that, walking back. And I think that was the final nail in the coffin for us. So we got called into the meeting the next day. All right, anyone on the Christmas do in the meeting room now? I'm like, shall I swerve this? I might try and blag I weren't there. I thought, God, he went, to be fair, rightly so, he went mental. Find us all, said you made him look bad, and we got that, we get that. You take your punishment, paid us fine. I was fucking devastated though. Fucking weekend in Dublin cost me about $5,000.
Did he tell you before that you couldn't go?
Do you know what? It's not like it had been said, and he'd sat us down and said, no Christmas do this year, even if you're thinking about it. It was one of the, I think he'd mentioned a couple of things in papers and stuff, but he never actually sat us down and said, you're not going. So the lads are off saying, well, we didn't know you'd said it, Gaffer. Like, but it was one of them. It was going to cause a massive, and we was flying at the time. I mean, we finished in the Champions League. Crouchy got that header at Man City to finish in the Champions League. So last thing we want to do is derail us. So we half swallowed the fine, but we're going, well, we've actually got a point here. Like, you didn't say to us, we're not allowed to go. We heard it when we was fucking there. They all took the fines, to be fair. They all took the fines. It was big fines as well. But to be fair to Keano, sorted it out, and a few of the other big hitters. He said, look, instead of charging everyone 2 weeks' wages, we'll put so much in there and we'll give it to charity and do some good with it. And they did that. I think we end up paying a bit of a fine each for the smaller fish.
Yeah,
and to be fair to them, they got a good pot up. It was a good pot. I mean, it was round the bill, sort of the bill at Nobu bill that went to charity as well. Do you know what I mean? So it was, although no one hears that side of things, it was a fucking great story. I'd love listening to it if I weren't involved in it. But
it's fair play as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's fair
play.
We do a thing on if you could take 5 players that you played with on a night out.
From what we've heard so far, it sounds like it's going to be an interesting pick.
It's the only one I'm looking forward to, I'll be honest.
That's impossible. I'd go, I think must picks are, just because he was the best wingman ever, was Sheringham. He would have to be.
Wingman.
He would have to be in there, wingman.
He's probably the oldest wingman we've ever had.
Hey, honestly, it was another level. Another level.
Has he got the crack? Has he got the crack as well as the good looks?
No, but when he struggles, he always has his jacket with his Champions League medal under and just pops it out like that.
That's why we struggle, Johnny.
Yeah, I've got a League 2 medal somewhere.
So we've got Teddy. We've got Teddy captain.
Well, who Brittany knows as well, Ben Anick, goalkeeper, would be another one. He's a fantastic guy. He ended up staying at mine when I was at Spurs and after for, and still a very good friend now. He was brilliant. And that was going about GK Union, so we had that affinity already, but he was great. And he was a lot younger than me, to be fair, but he was up there with Teddy, to be fair. But it was great. We've got some fantastic lads over the years. Jesus, there's so many. I mean, some of the lads lower down as well was unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Lower down.
Marshy, the lad Chris Marshy you mentioned there was. He wrote a book called it "The Good, the Bad, and the Boozy." There was no good and bad. It was just the boozy. He was brilliant. You'd love him if you get him on now. He's brilliant. What a guy. So his Marshy, the lads I've played with over the years, but I mean, the main crew out at the time was. You had like Roy Carroll was a brilliant wingman, although he was a terrible mix on each other because we'd have Saturday, Sunday out, and then he'd give us a call Monday and go, "Fancy?" I go, "Yeah, come on then." Or he didn't fancy, and I go, "Come on." And that was it. So we were out. It was sensible, and it was a brilliant time, West Ham. You know, lads loved the night out. So I'll probably put Roy in there just to keep the party going. So there's 2 goalies, Sheringham. Big Ginge Collins is fantastic on a night out as well. But what a fantastic guy to have on a night out with you, bro. And do you know what? I never played with him. But towards the end, when I'd left West Ham, I always used to still go out with Ginge. And there was always Big Andy Carroll out, Kev Nolan out. And Kev Nolan was a fantastic, unbelievable skipper for their lads and arranged loads of stuff for them. It was a bit like, one I might mention who might get on the plane was Lucas Neal, who was at West Ham with me. He was skipping it, and he was possibly the best skipper I've ever played with. He knew when the lads needed a night out. He knew when they needed reining in. He was like a manager within a manager, but one of the lads.
He's too handsome, though, mate.
Yeah, and he was good looking. But as a skipper and as what he brought, it was like he used to give. Curbs would come in and do his bits, and then Choppers, we used to call him Chopper. Lucas would stand up and he'd do his bits, and it'd be like a speech off Gladiator or Braveheart. And we'd all be like, going, "Yes, Chopper, let's have it, come on!" And he was brilliant. And on the nights out he did, I mean, he did them proper. When I did a night out, it was go to the pub and we go to the club. He'd do nights out and he'd hire out fucking Harvey Nick's 5th floor bar and all that, and invite Natalie and Brulia and all his Aussie mates and that. So I'm like, "Skipper, I love you."
The biggest hitter that you'd like to have a pint with, you know, like.
Yeah.
Because it seems to be the better the player they are, the most boring they are, if you like. But who's the one that you've met that surprised you and thought, fuck me?
Apart from Teddy.
Yeah, but Teddy would be the one. Like he was. I mean, I watched him again in the Euro '96 things that have come back on, and I watched him and like, what a player! He was unbelievable. Like, and so I sat next to him in the changing room, went on most nights out of him. So it was amazing. Like, I mean, do you see I think I said it on my Twitter that like I watched the celebration against Scotland when Gaza scored that goal.
The dentist.
A dentist chair, and they've been doing a dentist chair too. Like, I watched that in the pub, steaming and going mental on it, and loved every minute of it. But hairs on the back of my neck watching it, and then 2 years down the line, I'm doing the same thing with him in Vegas. I'm like, it's fucking like this life's mental.
Being a Sunderland fan, we've had a couple of comments to say that Sunderland went tits up after you left.
Well, and I hope that's not true because I mean I loved it up there. It was brief. It was really brief. But you know when when I went to West Ham, I had a feel for it. When I went to Sunderland as coach, I mean I went in out of the blue. I didn't know Jack Ross. I didn't know the coaching staff. I just went for the job because it came up and ended up getting it. And it was great. And the coaches and Jack was brilliant. And the club was immense. I loved it. The club, obviously, the club's an amazing club. It deserves to be higher, and no one deserves it as such. But that one, do you know what I mean? The fans there are incredible. And I loved every minute of it. I must admit, the whole setup, the training ground, the fans, the stadium alight, everything about it. It was very demanding. The fans were demanding, and rightly so, because they don't think they should be in that division, and they probably shouldn't be in that division. You know, they've had some mismanagement along the way. I thought Jack was a real good manager. I really enjoyed working with him. I loved Potts and Fowley's staff and everything about the place. I loved it. It was such a big decision for me to leave at the time. It was more geographical than anything. Like my boys one's in Essex and the other's in Stamford. So it was like 6-7 hours to go and see my boy in Essex. And then I've got to go all the way back up and that. And I live in Lincoln. So it was really tough. So when the Ipswich thing came up, although it's still quite as far, it meant I was within like half an hour of my oldest and an hour of my youngest. And it just made a lot of sense. But even with that, on the football side of things, and it was in the Champ at the time, Ipswich, which I wanted to get back to, but I was desperate to stay there and get that success with Jack and everyone there and the fans there to get into the Champ with the club. Because I think if you can get them back in the club and the fans on board with you, you're going to get some momentum there because they're desperate for some success. And an amazing club. Sorry?
Was he good, Jack Ross?
He was excellent. He was really good. I think in an ideal world, he maybe would have had one more job in between that Sunderland because it is a massive job. Yeah. It's a massive job. And I don't know if I'm talking for him, he might think differently. But it was not like it was too big for him or anything like that. He was an excellent, what a coach, by the way. Different sessions every day, all tailored to what you're working to on a Saturday. Great, personality about him. I think everyone liked him there. It was just, when I was there, I mean, it was great. We were starting to win a few games. There was ways we could have played better, definitely. And we was working at that. And obviously when I left, I still watched for the results and I still spoke to them, but it never quite panned out the way we was hoping it would in the end. But
you need to have a lot of luck. You need to have a lot of luck, don't you?
You need a lot of luck, especially there, a club like that. And it's tough. You think you're like, we had it at Ipswich this year as well. It's like a cup final for every game, every team you're playing against. Yeah. You turn up at any club in that league, it's a cup final for them. So fans are turning up, their team's turning up. So you've got that scalp on you. You've got the target on your back sort of thing as well. So you've got to have players that can deal with that as well. And I think Jack, given a bit more time, I think he would have done a good job there, to be fair. And I can only speak for when I was there, and it was excellent. And it was a real tough decision for me to leave. And I was quite sad when I did. Although, again, I left for a great club in Ipswich and didn't quite work out how I wanted Ipswich even. So things happen in football, You just, hopefully everyone can stay together. And like Ipswich, everyone stays together and you can try and get up the leagues where we think and where we probably deserve to be.
Fair play, Matt.
It's a strange old world, isn't it, the old football world?
It's fucking great, though, isn't it?
It's incredible, but it's strange, isn't it?
It's strange now, especially when everyone's got a voice on your Twitters and that, and Instagram and all the social medias. I'm all for it. I can take a lot of stick if I get it and it's deserved. I said, right, so as long as no one's personal to me for no reason, I'll take anything you say to me. But I know some people do get affected by it. And I always say, if that's the case, you get affected, don't go on it. Why would you?
Yeah.
I don't get why you put yourself in that way. I think it's a great platform. There's some great platforms about to show off what stuff goes into the game. I mean, I've got my website, Football DNA, what I'm really proud of at the minute. And that's trying to canvas everything that's great from the game. Because you know what it's like? It's a real closed world. People don't want to share a lot of times. We've got some great stuff at the top of the game that needs to be shared with like sort of grassroots and lower divisions that could make them better as well. So with that, I'm trying to do that. And
what's
the
website for? What's the
premise behind it? Well, it started as a coaching platform, which it still mainly is. I'll give it. It's footballdna.co.uk, and we started with all the coaching drills, but we've progressed it from that to as it's Football DNA, it's everything in it, and we've sort of progressed it to help players, help coaches, help clubs, and we're just trying to give everything that I know's great from inside the game that I've got hold of over the years, and people have been great inside the game. Some don't want to share, and that's fine by them. By me, you don't have to share, but some have been brilliant, great open and gone, look, we do this week, and we've put everything on the site for everyone to look at for a nominal fee, just for like tick over. We've got a foundation as well. I mean, that's going that we're giving everything we earn. We give to charity, which has been to the NHS at the minute and the World Health Organization, obviously to help fight this disaster what we've had, this pandemic thing. But so it's been great to do something positive in that time, and it's kept me in. And having that time off, being able to throw a lot more time into that. So we think we're somewhere near with the website, and we think we can help a lot of people with it. And it's great to see. I mean, coaches can go on it. And I always say, people who volunteer the time to give up their time and not get paid to take, especially grassroots teams, kids teams, all that, I think not all heroes wear capes sort of thing. They're amazing giving up that time to do it, and they don't get the respect at times they deserve. So to give up your time to do it, if I can make it a little bit easier by, well, there's 200 drills on crossing and finishing that you can use at under 10s. They can go on the phone, type it in. They've been at work all day. If they type it in, they've not got to plan a session. They've got 600-700 drills at their fingertips that they can use. So it's been nice to put that back in as well. And I've enjoyed people getting to see that. It's been great to do stuff for charity as well. So
good luck with it, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's an unbelievable story as well.
Yeah.
Well, I could have, if I'd had 10 cans of Johnny, I could have kept you going for about 8 hours, I reckon.
Do you know when your book comes out, you're coming back on again, by the way.
All right. Well, I told you I need the book to go and sell first, so I can pay for the lawsuits that are coming from it.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for your time, mate. Really
great to speak to you, fellas.
Jimmy, mate, top man, mate. Thank you very much.